New Zealand Mysteries is a community of people who are compassionate and want to help in the search for answers for victims and their families. We are on YouTube, Facebook and podcast. Thanks to those that like, subscribe, follow, comment, share or donate, because New Zealand Mysteries only works with your help. Links for all these options and source links will be in the description box below each video. Hello everyone, I'm finally back, finally here. If you're new here, my name is TJ, by the way. Guys, you have no idea of the dramas I've had to get or go through in the last few days with Greg, thank you computer man, to get a computer replacement going. I'm still a bit wary on the webcam and the volume, so if that's a problem, please let me know in the comments below. I do want to say, however, a huge thank you to those of you who donated to help me get something new to use. I really appreciate it. This can't work without you guys. The reason I've been able to put some hours into this is that work I haven't had any shifts lately, so that may change and I'll just work around it. That's fine. Before we get going, last thing, I know that a lot of you enjoyed the Police 10-7 recaps that I was doing. If you're wanting me to get back into those, I will, but they do take a lot of work, so let me know in the comments below. And yeah, let's get into today's video. The first case we're going to look at is from the police missing persons page, and I will have it linked down in the description box below if you want to come here. But it's about this guy here, Isaac Peratiaki. Now, briefly, all it says about him is date of birth, 24th of October 1963, date of disappearance, 17th of May. He's a Māori, location missing from Wanganui, 174 centimetres solid. So all it says is Isaac was last seen in Wanganui on the 17th of May 2018. Well, I tell you something, there's not one article, not one, about his disappearance or the circumstances or anything, not one. I don't know how that's possible, and it seems entirely unfair. I don't know why some cases get sheet loads of coverage and some just don't. I don't know, but what I will tell you is he has got a whānau that really love him and want to find what happened to their uncle, or if he is out there somewhere. Now, I don't know if you've been to our New Zealand Mysteries Facebook page, but this is such an awesome place. I share stories and things and cases, and people share them, and it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But what I really wanted to show you is I posted about Isaac here, and 379 shares and 123 comments. 447 of those little icon things, or whatever you want to call them, emoji things. It's great, but we still don't know what happened to Isaac, and neither does his whānau. And I have talked to many of his whānau, and they are so lovely, so damn lovely, and they don't deserve this. Not that any cases deserve this, but yeah, it's a really sad story. We don't have anything to go on. If you know anything, please, you could contact me or contact the police. I'll have the numbers for the police down below where you can contact. Of course, you can always go 0800 555 111. Very sad. It's sad. I don't know why he's not getting the coverage that he so deserves, just like anyone else. But let's move on to another missing person. We're now going to move on to the police website again. This was on 10-7 or Police 10-7 Aotearoa. We've got missing person Shane Edwards. Tokoroa police are appealing for any sightings of Shane Edwards, who has been missing since Saturday the 15th of May. Shane was last seen at a residential address in Tokoroa. He left behind several personal items which was very uncharacteristic of him. He is described as male, 42 years, last seen wearing black beanie, brown checked swan dry, zip-up jersey, full low-cut brown chucks and dark blue jeans. Shane has contacts in Tokoroa, Rotorua, Turangi and Christchurch. Police are appealing for any sightings of him. Shane's whānau are extremely worried about him, so if you have information that could help bring him home, please get in touch through the 0800 line, through the police website here. Again, I'll have all that information in the description box below. Quick look at where Tokoroa is. It's in the sort of central North Island here. I live in the South Island, so I've never been there, but I hear it's a lovely place. This is stuff.co.nz. Come home, hun. Tokoroa father Shane Edwards disappeared from his kitchen a month ago. Now, this is an article by Ben Bathgate on June the 16th, 2022.
God, it's every minute, hour just drags. That day he made us lunch. He said that he'll do the wash up, and I was going to go do the boys, help them with their room, and
I'm not going to play all of that, for I might get copyright strike, you never know. But obviously you'll be able to listen to the rest of the video by his partner there, which is really, really sad and pulled on my heartstrings, I must tell you. 1 minute Shane Edwards was in his Tokoroa kitchen, the next he was gone. And in the month since then, the hours have dragged for his partner of 18 years, Alvina Smith, and she's made an emotional appeal for his return, saying, "My boys need their dad." God, doesn't that just break your heart? Speaking about the impact of his May 14 disappearance, she sobs at points, shakes and wipes her eyes with tissues. And the detective in charge has called it an unusual case, with few leads so far. That's making us worry a bit. On the day Edwards vanished, he'd made lunch for everyone and offered to clean up while Smith was with the boys in the bedroom, she said. He's meant to be doing the dishes, she said. I came out about 20 to 30 minutes. The dishes are there, but he's not there. She said he had no gang connections, no involvement in drugs or any mental health issues. His brother, Shane's brother, psychologist, Dr. Michael Edwards, said that through his work he knows the red flags that can sometimes accompany mental health issues, and he's clear none were present with his brother. Faced with the empty kitchen, Alvina said she checked their section, then began phoning friends and relatives. Their dog, who usually barks when visitors arrive, had been silent, she said. She immediately knew something was wrong. It didn't take a while, it was in that moment. She said for him to vanish like this was completely out of character. She said he's a good dad. No gangs, no drugs, no mental health issues, not for Shane. He loved being with his boys and they meant the world to him. She goes to say he takes them to school, wakes them up, makes lunches, changes them, helps me do their breakfast. He sounds like a fantastic partner and father. She said if one of the kids is upset after school, he might treat them at the dairy or take them to the rock path. That's something fun for them, or the park. Unsurprisingly, his disappearance has hit the kids hard, she said. They don't want to go to school. They're asking for him all the time. Our baby always asks, maybe he's down this way, maybe that way, maybe we should look here. She said, I've got another son saying, oh, he'll be home soon, Mum. I miss him too. I have to hear the same stories every night. The toll on Smith is obvious. She said, I don't eat. I'm just constantly worried. She said, I was keeping count of the time, but after a month, it's every minute, every hour just drags. Asked what her message would be to Shane. It takes Smith a few minutes to get the words out. But she says, come home, hun. The boys miss you. We all miss you. She also had a message for anyone who may have seen Shane or may know something about his disappearance or whereabouts now. Please ring the police. Tell him to come home. We miss him. It's hard to get through the day. That was echoed by both Michael Edwards, his brother, and the officer in charge of the case, Detective Sergeant Dave Whitecliffe-Davies. He said that up until Thursday they had heard nothing about Shane's whereabouts, but had 2 possible sightings in Rotorua and Whakatane, neither definite. He goes on to say, it is very unusual and that's making us worry a bit, he said. Absolutely nothing leading us towards what could have happened. Usually we get some sort of angle, usually there's some information, even if it's only false leads. Smith acknowledged the police's work. They're doing their best to find him, but they've not got a lot to go on. His partner Alvina, his brother, and Whitecliffe-Davies were united in asking for information that could help. Come forward no matter how insignificant it is. It just doesn't make sense. Anyone with info about Shane can call Whitecliffe-Davies, the detective, on 021 191 0875 or police on 105 and reference the file number 220518/6338, or you can go anonymously to Crimestoppers at 0800 555 111. All this will be in the description box below. Let's keep going. So we're going to move on to the Rotorua. Oh no, well, it was from the New Zealand Herald, the NZ Herald, but originally from Rotorua Daily Post. This was from Megan Wilson on 20th of June 2022. We're not going back far, guys, only a couple of months. Tokoroa missing person Shane Edwards, 3 more potential sightings. Police are following 3 more potential sightings of missing Tokoroa man Shane Edwards, including one person who thinks they may have picked Edwards up hitchhiking. The 42-year-old father vanished from his Tokoroa home on May 14th and has not been heard from since. There have been no confirmed sightings of him. On Friday, Detective Sergeant David Whitecliffe-Davies said police were following 3 potential sightings of him in Auckland, Makatu and Waikaremoana. Members of the public, you can tell I haven't done a video for a while, members of the public had come forward and said they had seen something matching Edwards' description, who seemed a little out of place. Police had since negated a sighting in Whakatane as someone else after it was reported to police on Thursday. Today, Whitecliffe-Davies said police were following 3 more potential sightings of Edwards in Te Reo, Makatu and Auckland. The person in Te Reo said they believe they saw him possibly a few days after Edwards went missing on May the 14th. They think they picked up someone hitchhiking from Te Reo to Tokoroa, but they dropped him off in Putaruru because that was as far as they were going. He said this was definitely something positive to look through. The person dropped the hitchhiker off at Countdown in Putaruru. I butchered that name. He jumped out there and went across the road from there. Police were checking if there was CCTV footage in the area. Detective Whitecliffe-Davies said people had called in saying they had seen someone who matched his description and did not look like they were from the area. The person in Auckland said they believed they saw him on June 13th, and the person in Makatu believed they saw him about 3 weeks ago. We are just trying to do a bit of work around the CCTV cameras around there just to see if we can get an identification on someone and confirm if it's him or not. Fingers crossed, get an identification and confirm it's him. Whitecliffe-Davies encouraged people to not hesitate to come forward if they believed they had any information. However, little information you think it might be on how certain you are, just chuck it out there and we can easily try and confirm it or negate it. This is his brother, his younger brother, who had to fly back to Australia, which must be heartbreaking, having to just leave the country and your brother's missing. I mean, that's just terrible. So his brother, Dr. Michael Edwards, said he was extremely pleased with the community who are keeping an eye out for him. Michael is flying back to Australia tonight after arriving in New Zealand on June 9th to help with the search for his younger brother. Now he was leaving, Michael said, Obviously, I still miss my little bro immensely, love him to bits. On behalf of his family, Michael said he was pleased with what they had achieved over the past week, such as door knocking, speaking to whānau from different areas and covering a lot of ground so that we can effectively eliminate those areas he may have likely gone to. Michael plans to return to New Zealand later this year. Well, I hope that we have helped in some way as well. Again, Shane was wearing a brown swan-dried jersey with a tinge of green, light blue jeans, black Converse Chuck Taylor shoes, and a black beanie when he went missing. He has been described as lean and about 1.80 metres or 1.85 metres tall, with dark, short, spiky hair, brown eyes, olive to white coloured skin, and no piercings or tattoos. This is such an odd disappearance with just no leads, and gosh, these ones really get to you. Actually, any of these cases really get to me, but hearing his partner and the kids, that just breaks my heart. For the last article that I could find, actually, from Stuff, this was from someone called Ben Bathgate, and June 21st. Cops turned to CCTV and hunt for Tokoroa man Shane Edwards, who vanished from his home a month ago. Police are checking CCTV footage after reported sightings of missing Tokoroa man Shane Edwards in Auckland, Makatu, Waikaremoana and Tira. The officer in charge of the case, Whitecliffe-Davies, also told Stuff they have ruled out earlier reported sightings of Edwards in both Whakatane and Rotorua. He said a lot of the reported sightings have been one-off claims and hard to verify. He said we just haven't been able to say whether they are him or not. And again, I mean, when you see his partner just breaking down there, oh God. He also warned that in the month since Edwards was last seen, it was possible his appearance may have changed with different facial hair or longer or shorter head hair. He said his message to anyone who believed they may have seen Edwards or thinks they may know something about his whereabouts was unchanged. Get in touch with police. Even if it's only a small percentage chance, he said. Again, Edwards' disappearance on May 14th and has left his whānau and police baffled. It's very unusual and that makes us worry a bit. Absolutely nothing leading us towards what could have happened. Usually you get some sort of angle, and again, there's just nothing. How do you... he was going to the kitchen to do dishes. While she was in the bedroom with one of the kids, he was going to do the dishes like a great father, like a great partner, and then she goes out there and he's just gone. Again, he's a good dad, no gangs, no drugs, no mental health issues. He loved his boys, took them to school, make their lunches. You can't get any better than this.